Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of this season of You Talk Show. We are in person. We are live and in person. And we have Nicole here. She goes by Cole, but in my head, I really can't say it. So we have Nicole with us today. And I want to just have a conversation with you talking about how this past year, you've really been stepping into who you've always known you could be. It's been so amazing to watch you recently get your master's. You've been hitting new levels on your new skin business. You're getting married. Like, there's so many things that are like literally falling into place for you. And it's not that they're just magically falling into place. Right. It's that you work so hard to get there. So today, I would love to just chat about kind of different parts of your life and how you're moving forward to become someone you want to be.
I love that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So when you started, why did you start grad school?
So I feel like I don't even really know how to explain it. So I was at work and I was ready to kind of move up or move on with work. I was either going to move on to a new company or move up. So for me, there was no like staying. I was like, I didn't master it, but I just felt like I had kind of went stagnant with where I was kind of learning things.
Right.
So I actually just wrote a letter to my CEO and I was like, hey, this is how getting a master's could help me, how it can help you. Like, let's work on something. So we kind of had a meeting about it and I was like, I just think that this will level me up professionally and even personally. I've learned so much just in life things with it too. And I don't know if bored is the right word. I don't think that you should go back and get your master's because you're bored, but I just had felt stagnant with learning.
But you knew there was more, right?
Yes.
You knew that like you walked into work and you're like, but I can do more.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was like, I need to learn how to do more. Like, I don't think I can just be, like, I wasn't ready to be promoted because I didn't feel like I knew kind of the steps and what I really needed to do professionally. So I was like, okay, getting a master's in business will kind of get me a little more rounded because I went to school for PR, which is great, but I wanted more management, leadership, business skills.
Listen, managing and leading people is literally no joke.
It's so hard.
It is. I did it for like a hot minute and I was like, you can have it back. I don't want it. Thank you.
It's hard.
And it's just like, especially because people like, it's their job, right? So you're like, I can't say the wrong thing. What if they, what if I actually, so like I thankfully got into management when our company was in the wild, wild west. It was a startup. And so people really didn't care. They were like, oh, it's fine. It's a wild, wild west. You can say whatever you want. And so I'm very grateful. That was the time that I dabbled and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm all set with that. Yeah, I think just being I learned a lot about how to lead other human beings. And it sounds silly because you would think it's just as easy as leading people and managing them, but like you have to manage every single human being totally different from the next person, and you have to know like why they work the way they work, why do they feel this way about the job or whatever, and you need to know the why for every single person that you are leading or managing, and it's effing hard.
It is because everyone's so different.
I need to like go learn about this because I don't ever want to be thrown into a management role and be like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing.
What is your love language? Do you know?
I would say quality time more than anything. I love to just like frolic and do things, or even literally we'll sit on the couch. We have very opposite interests with everything, especially TV, and we'll literally watch our own shows, but just like
next to
together.
Each other.
Yeah,
right.
And like hang out. Like I love that.
And your TV shows of choice are?
Garbage.
Dumpster fires.
Dumpster fire garbage. I love well, the only MTV show I really love is The Challenge, but like Paramount Plus, get me on Paramount Plus. Love Island UK, Big Brother, like all of the trash, like reality TV.
Why do you think you love it?
I don't know. I think because I'm very level in my life. Like I don't, if you have any form of drama in my life, like I just completely disassociate. Like I just have no like mental capacity for it, but watching other people's again, I'm just so nosy. So watching other people fight, especially on Big Brother, because it's like they're being filmed 24/7. You see them chatting in one room and then other people chatting in the other. Like, I'm just nosy. So reality TV is so fun for me.
It gives you like an eyeball in on a situation
Yes.
you'd never be able to see.
Yeah, it's like sitting at a restaurant and Tom's talking to me and I'm like, shh. I'm
yeah.
listening. He's like, mind your business. I'm like, no.
I did that at Brood Awakenings the other day. So a mom at dance had given me a gift card and I was like, I really don't love it, but sure, I'll go. And so I was doing some work there before I went somewhere else. And there were these two girls having a conversation and they were having a conversation about how she had gotten diagnosed with ADD later on in her life. And I was laughing hysterically because my therapist tells me every single day that I should go get tested for ADD. And I said, why? What's the point? We all know.
We all know.
I don't understand. Why do we need that confirmation? It's going to do nothing. So I'm sitting there listening to this girl's conversation so intently, like, why does she want to know? What is it going to do for her? Is she going to go on medication? Right? I'm like fully invested in this girl's life.
And then you want like a follow-up. You're like, should I ask for her number so I can like follow back up? Like, how am I supposed to leave this place wondering what happened to this girl?
I'm committed.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense on the TV.
Yeah.
And when you so how did you actually find your job that you're in now?
I started becoming friends with a girl from our high school and she was working there. I have no idea how she found it. It is like one of the most random organizations ever.
I work for a random org too. Don't you worry.
But it's so small in our world, but it's actually a really big organization. But she was like, hey, we're hiring. And I was working at a coffee shop and I had been graduated from college for like 6 months. And I was like, all right, I need something. So I was like, I'm going to work here for a couple years. And I've been here for almost 6.
Wow.
And I love it. Yeah.
6? That's crazy. I'm coming up on 4. And I'm like, where does the time go?
It's crazy.
It's like, I'm like, what?
2 years I've been working from home. Like, we used to work in an office. We sold our building. We're just permanently from home. But we were going home to work for a week. And it's been like 2.5 years.
Yeah, the same thing happened to us.
And I'm like, where did 2.5 years just
Now,
go?
do you ever see your team?
Yeah, we
in
actually,
person?
Yep. So we have a meeting, not often. We Zoom every day, but we have a meeting next week and we have a fun like boating outing in Newport. So we do try, and in the holidays, we always do like a Christmas like lunch or brunch or some sort of thing. So we are trying to get in person now.
I just went to California for our first on-site in literally 2.5 years. And it was just so nice to see people again that you're like, oh my God, I really actually like you.
I know.
Like there are so many people that I just see in Slack and I'm just like, oh yeah.
We I Teams message my boss all day long, but we've been having to go to different venues and stuff lately. So we've been like in the car together and like actually in person again. I'm like, wow, I forgot how much like I liked being around you. Like this, besides just blowing you up on Teams all day long with a million questions, this poor girl has to deal with me all day. But I'm like, wow, this is nice, like actually being with our team of 2 in person.
Yes, no, it is. It is real nice. So what made you say, okay, now I have a good job, now I'm getting my master's, now I want something else, which is Nu Skin?
I was straight up so bored. Like, not on a day-to-day board.
I see a theme.
Yes, I am easily bored. I need to be entertained so, all of the time. But no, not even just, like, bored with nothing to do, but, like, my fiancé has so many hobbies. He likes to metal detect. He likes to go do this and that. And I'm like, I have no hobbies. And they include watching television. And I'm like, I need something that is also more fulfilling in that more leadership role as well. And, like, because it's not even really the sales of Nu Skin that I'm like interested in. It's like the leadership and building the team. Like I love doing that. And I just needed like something else besides working for someone else. Like I just needed like a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I always
if you
need
don't
more.
know what Nu Skin is, it is a skincare product situation company. You can talk about it, but the Lumi, just buy it. Period.
It. Like, not even you don't even have to buy it from me. I literally don't care if you buy it from me, but buy it. Like,
no, it's real life. Like, I bring it with me everywhere. Like, I love this Lumi, and I can't get enough of it. And like, I have had the unfortunate event that 3 of mine have broken.
I've had mine for 2 years, and I've had.
I'm blessed. What can I say? And so I'm currently using my mom's because anyway, there was an error with the shipping. But like I said, I don't care. I was making this analogy the other day because I started to sell Nu Skin and then I started to sell Arbonne. And then I literally met with Bianca. If you don't know who Bianca is, she's the pastor lady who I love. And she looked at me and she said, okay, you like need to do an evaluation of your life. She's like, does this bring you life and does this honor God, right? Like go through all of them. And I'm like a real new little faith baby. But it was so important to look at my life and say, okay, the girl who I was under, I literally love Arbonne products so much. And the girl I was under was so kind. But I was like, I can't have the added pressure of somebody saying, hey, can I help you? What's your plans? I'm like, I can't even, I'm drowning.
Yeah.
Like I cannot add anything else to my life. Like, and so I was like, okay, I made the conscious decision to say, no, I'm going to focus on me, right? What am I going to do with my skills and my passions to help someone? And I initially wanted to do MLM for all the wrong reasons. And that's why it didn't work. And I think that's important when you go into it. It's like, okay, what's your purpose, right? Yours was leadership. Yours was building a team. Mine was, I wanted to do it so I could show other women that this was an option, but I didn't care enough about it.
Right.
And that was the thing.
You weren't passionate about Nu Skin.
No.
You love the products.
Right.
You love Arbonne products, but it wasn't something you were like, everybody that I know needs to know about
Speaking
this.
about being nosy, I love people's problems. I will literally sit there and talk to people about their problems every single day of my life at any hour of the day. It brings me the greatest amount of joy. And so I'm like, okay, so what can I do? Because this is saying it. And so I'm slowly going through my life and cutting those things off. But I do want to say, if you are to join an MLM, can you talk about how you have been successful with it? Because you keep hitting new numbers and new ranks. And I think it's really important to see because you're growing so much, not just as a human, but also in this role and with your confidence in it.
Yeah, well, for Nu Skin, just to like speak on the company itself a little bit, what I like about it and why I was less hesitant to join it is because for me, it's not quite as MLM-y. It's more, in my opinion, of an affiliate program.
Yeah.
Like to know it or getting a discount code from like Liquid IV, which I also have. I basically do the same thing for both of them. Talk about the products because I use them, and then I just send a link with a code or whatever to whoever needs it. But I don't know. I think dropping the giving an F about what people are thinking.
Yes, you made a post. I read it in New York City. I literally read this post while I was walking through New York City, and you said, I never thought I'd be that girl.
I didn't, because I was so judgy. And then I was like, what am I judging for? I'm like, they are out here trying to make their bag, do what they need to do to make it through. Like, life is not easy. So I'm like, what am I getting out of being like, oh my God, I don't want to be that girl? And I was like, why would I not though? So I joined, and I just think if you're thinking of it as I don't want to be that girl, then don't. Like, you can do it. The beauty about this type of business is you can do it in any way you want. If you joined my team or whoever's team, but like for me specifically, I'm not going to have somebody join and make it so that they're doing it exactly the way I'm doing it, because their followers might not feed off of them the way they feed off of me, the way I do it. They want something else from you. And I just think being able to just do it the way you want to do it doesn't have to be the way other people are doing it that you don't want to be like, I guess.
Right. And can we talk about how did you shift that judgment, right? How did you go from being like, oh, to, oh? Like,
Well,
I think that there is a big shift.
I think in the opinions aspect of like stopping caring about annoying people who follow me or whatever it is.
Yeah, bye. I have to say, like, if you're a man and you follow me and you're like not respectful, have a wonderful day.
I have like 6 guys that follow me left. They all unfollowed me, which is fine. I
bye.
don't think I like pertain to them. The only guys that follow me are like my super close guy friends. And I don't even think they watch my shit half the time. But actually, it was a girl on our team. Her name's Gretchen. She's like up, super leader. She's incredible. She always says, she's like, can you imagine thinking about your why for why you're joining it, and telling your why and whoever it is that you can't do something because you cared about what Kathy on Instagram thought about you. And I think about that every single time I post something where I'm like, is this going to be like long or is it going to be annoying? And I'm like, why do I care? I'm going to look at Tom one day and be like, I can't give you half of the down payment for a house because I cared about what my high school friends on Instagram thought about. And I know for Gretchen, she wants to like buy her dad a house and retire him. And she's like, in 10 years, I'm going to look him in the eyes and say, I'm so sorry. I know I told you I would want to retire you, but I can't because I cared about what everybody on Instagram thought about me. And that literally, I have nightmares about that. Like ever since she said that, that's all I can think about when I do stuff. And I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, really?
Right. No one cares.
Everyone is too self-centered to think of, not in a like rude way, but like everybody cares so much about themselves to think about you for as long as you think they're thinking about you. They're watching their story. They might be like, oh, annoying. And
also,
they're on to the next story.
Like there are some days when I like watch stories and I watch stories, and there's some days when I go,
exactly.
Like it
no
really
one cares
depends
what you're doing as much as you think they care.
No, and here's the funny part. I put a poll up today and I was like, hey, what's the best piece of content? Like what piece of content have I created that has stuck with you the most? Or why do you keep showing up? Like, why are you here? And literally crickets. And I'm like, I know all you bitches show up every day. Why are you here? I know you're in my DMs giving me novels. But like, I ask you to keep posting this cute little question box. Nope. I also think when you want people to interact, they don't. And when you don't want them to interact, they do.
They like blow you up and my DMs are insane. I'm like, I put up a poll and you don't answer, but you all are in my DMs all the time, which I appreciate.
I love
yes.
it. Keep coming in my DMs.
I love it.
It's just funny as a creator.
The point of it, yeah.
Right. As a creator, it's very weird because you're like, okay, I posted a reel yesterday and I was like, I know this one's going to do well. I know it. I was filming it and I was like, I know it. And normally when you say that, they fucking tank, okay? Because when you know they're going to do good, they go, but it actually popped off. And I was like, okay, thank you. But that never happens. So I think as a creator, you have to kind of just let everything go. And you're like, okay, whoever is supposed to see this is going to see this. Bless and release.
I also think listening to your following, not by what they're telling you, but listen and pay attention to what they are interacting with and engaging with and what they're DMing you about, and create content based around that. And I feel like that has been...
What is your most common question in your DMs?
Oh God, I don't know. I feel like I get more unsolicited like advice than questions. Yeah, just about like anything. Like, but I think that's a good thing to pay attention to, because people, especially on the internet, want to be experts in things. So I now am starting to realize that is where kind of my following is lying, in that advice. And they'll be like, oh, well, you should try this or you should do this. So now I put up advice. What is your favorite this? Where should I shop for this?
Reviews by Nicole coming soon. Stop. I actually had this idea. I wanted to review my Amazon purchases, or like I want someone to do this, someone who buys really weird shit, and just say, if I was the packager at an Amazon warehouse, what would I think of this? Because I got this mic wash and this mic stand and vagina wash in a package together, and I just really wonder like what they would be like, right?
The person like packaging it up.
I really think that could be a whole thing. So
they definitely thought you were like on the internet, like doing different
Bad
things than what we're doing.
So I just want to say, if you are out there and you purchase weird stuff on Amazon, you let me know, because you make a whole podcast about it. It could be real big. But it's the same thing with you. Like if people are asking advice, like I think we need a column, Cole's column.
Yeah,
I really think so.
I think it's people like providing advice.
I know.
So like
but you just gotta bring it right back.
Yeah, exactly. And I just feel like making sure you're paying attention to what I get a lot of engagement when I talk about anxiety. So I've been trying to like bring it up a little bit more, because I'm like, okay, this is what my people are interested in. Like I'm here for my people. So making sure I'm giving them what they're looking for. By paying attention to what they're responding to.
While we're on the topic of social medias, can you talk about how you do not show your fiance on social media?
I don't. He'll kill me.
I think that's really big. And I think some people might be like, well, I don't know how to do that. So how did it happen? Like, has it always been that way?
Yeah, like he's mine. He's not for the world. Like he doesn't want to be for the world. He has an Instagram account, and it's not a personal Instagram account. He has a metal detecting account, and he doesn't post anything personal. He never has his face on there. And he just doesn't want to be, he's a very off the grid kind of fella. Like he just doesn't want to be on my Instagram. He's on my Instagram if you ever give a shit about what he looks like. Like we have our engagement photos. I'm going to post wedding photos. He doesn't really have a choice with that, because like, hello. But like, I'm not really posting like really, if I do post what we're doing, it looks like I'm always doing it alone. Right. Like it always looks like I'm in bed alone. It always looks like I'm watching TV alone. Like he's always there. He's just hiding. He's just not he's just mine. Like, he's not for the world. Like,
so what would you say to a girl who's struggling because she thinks she's supposed to put her significant other on the internet? Because I think people do think if they don't do it, it's not real.
Who cares?
Like their relationship.
Like, you know it's real. You're living there. You're with him. And I don't know. I
also like it because then the world can't fucking
I don't have opinions about my relationship. Nobody knows that we're arguing about laundry 10 minutes ago. Like, nobody knows about anything because we could literally have the world's worst relationship, which we don't. But, like, no one would know because why am I going to give that to the world? Like, I just think that if you are going to put yourself on Instagram and you want to give everything, be ready for everything to come back. Like, be ready for opinions on everything. And I just don't want opinions about my relationship. I don't need them. And I just keep a lot of my private life private. I keep my fiance private. I keep my job private. I refuse to tell people on the internet where I work. Same. I don't think it's anybody's business. None. I'll tell you a little bit about what I do, but I don't get it. There's just things that I want to keep.
People literally look at me and they're like, well, what do you do to make money?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? I have a job just like you.
Yeah. Like,
people can't believe it.
I know. And for me, I don't really post from 8 to 5. If I do, it's like maybe my coffee or my lunch super fast for no reason. But like, I don't really post during the day because I'm busy. And I'll get DMs and people are like, are you alive?
Yes.
And I'm like, I love you so much for caring. But yes, I just don't post really from 8 to 5. So all of my shit gets posted between 5 and 10 p.m. pretty much. So get ready for the spam.
That's real. And I used to like literally make Instagram a priority in the morning, like before I started work. I start work at 7. So I work 7 to 3.
Oh, that's early.
And
you're done early. That's nice.
Yes, that is real nice. And I literally used to be like, well, I need to wake up. The first thing I do is look at my phone. I need to do all these things. And going back to the Bianca thing, I met with Bianca and she's like, listen, if you want to hear from God, if you want to get some clarity on your life, how do you expect to do that when you're literally always busy?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's a great point. So this past week, I've been waking. She goes, you're going to hate me. You need to set your alarm earlier. And I was like, okay. So I set my alarm for 5:43. I wake up. I go honor God. I go like connection time. I'm calling it. I don't know what else to call it. And so I've been waking up at 5:43. I've been connecting. I've been praying. I've been thinking. I've been reading the Bible, doing all these things that like literally a year ago I would have laughed at myself and been like, what are you doing? Right. But I have gotten so much clarity on my life in the last 7 days, but Instagram has gone out the window. That's where I was going was I used to literally put all of my focus in the morning on creating TikTok question and answers and then also on Instagram. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
No,
like
it's too much.
I need to focus on me because then I will be no good for literally anyone. So I think that that's really important is like, we can't live for Instagram. Right. And I think for a hot minute, like we all get into this habit of like, well, I need to do this. I need to post. I need to do this. People need to know I'm alive because the same thing happens to me. If I don't post in the morning, people are like, you're dead.
Like, are you okay? And I'm like, I am here.
And I appreciate it because if I was ever dead, people would know.
People know. People are aware. I haven't been on Instagram in 2 days. People are like calling me. They're like, is everything okay? Like, are you and Tom still together? Is everybody still alive? I'm like, we are good. I just am busy. But I also was kind of the same way. I was trying to like batch create like stories, which is so for me inauthentic, and batch create reels. And I'm like, I don't have the time for this. I do not have the time. I don't have the mental capacity. So I literally post when I'm doing things as I'm doing them, or I'll take pictures and like post later if I'm super busy. But I just like threw content creation out the window and just really keeping it about what I'm actually doing at that time. It just makes it a little, I feel like I've gotten more engagement that way because it's been a lot more real. And that makes sense.
You also called it your diary the other day.
It is my diary.
And on your diary, you say you want to start a podcast. I think you should start a podcast.
I know, but I feel like I like to chat, but like I'm going to like sit down every week and be like, guys, I watched Big Brother all week and that's all I did.
Why don't you review TV shows?
That's what Tom says. Tom's like, you could just like talk about your shit shows that like people love for whatever reason. And I'm like, they do because they're good.
See, I can't watch like 3 seconds. I'm like, I'm out. I can't do it. It like makes me like my skin crawl.
Tom literally puts in headphones or he'll leave the room.
He's
like, no.
You know why? It's because I am just getting like, this is going to sound so weird, but I've never had community. Never in my whole life have I had community. And so seeing so many women together is so weird for me because it's not normal.
Yeah.
Because I've never had community. Like I'm slowly starting to get community, but it is literally since January 1st when I decided, when I went to the mofo and salt cave, after I saw you go to the salt cave, I was like, I gotta write down my word. So I went and I wrote down community. And that's been my entire focus of 2022 is community. I found community in church in California. I went to Bianca's church and I've literally never felt more welcomed in my life. I went to work in California, never felt more welcome in my life. I will say this. If I found Bianca's church when I was living in California, I would have not have moved back. But I had to move back, so I'm happy it all worked out. And then also like finding community locally here in Rhode Island. I have so many friends right now. I've never had this many friends in my life.
I can't keep track of them all.
And I'm just like, you guys want to be my friend? Like, I don't get it. So I think for me, like seeing so many women together is so weird because community is not normal for me.
I just feel like these days women are like really sick of like being so shitty to other women. Like everybody's over it. Everyone's like, why though? Like you can have a podcast. I can have a podcast. Cynthia can have a podcast.
Yes.
Everybody can have a goddamn podcast and we can all be amazing. There's no reason. There's no like limit like for how many people can be successful. There just isn't. And I feel like, especially with social media, I feel like women have all just kind of came together and been like, wait, we're all like fucking cool.
Yes.
Why are we all just like being fucking cool together?
I also think too, women are just they want to celebrate each other, and we understand that the world is no longer like a limitation mindset. It's just all abundance, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, listen, if you win, I can win, and like you just said, like there's room for everyone. And so, how has New Skin given you a sense of community?
I've never really been a group chat kind of gal. I guess I would say I was never really a girl's girl. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like now looking at it, I'm like, how weird. Like, I can't imagine being any other way. Like, I am such a girl's girl. Like, I was always like, if we were in groups, like I was watching football with the guys, which I still do because I love football. But like, I was never like one to be sitting in the kitchen while the girls are chatting or like whatever. I was always with the guys, and I honestly can't really figure out why. And I just don't think I ever felt like I connected with girls until I actually started like trying to. I think I just needed to put in a little bit of effort on my end. And now I'm like, I don't want to be near these guys. Like they're so annoying. Like I'm all about the girls and the girl time, and it's so different. And I just feel like in college it was cool to be like the guy's girl.
Right.
So I was always just trying to like be that until I just stopped doing that. And I was like, being a girl's girl is way more fucking fun.
It's also when you like found confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Because you need to be like, okay, I am at this table and I'm showing up with something. I brought something to bring. Here we go. I have something to say. And I also know you are going to accept me at this table.
Yeah, and I feel
one.
like with New Skin, like everybody genuinely gives a shit when you have someone join your team, when you make a sale. Like I know when girls make sales in our group chat and they're like, I just sold a Lumi, I just sold this. I'm like, fuck yeah, like let's do it. Like so hyped. And I know everybody genuinely feels that for me. And I'm like, this is so weird.
It is
and
weird.
It's so fun because like I legit sobbed when a girl on my team earned a free trip to Jamaica because I know she worked her ass off for it. And I was like, this isn't even my trip. And I'm over here like crying.
But you also found Krista, who's your BFF.
That's who, that's who.
I thought so. That's why I said it.
Yeah. And like there's two girls that I met through New Skin. They live in Rhode Island, but I would have probably never met them otherwise. And I invited them to my wedding, Krista being one of them. And I'm like, this is just crazy. Like these people that I would have never met outside of New Skin are like going to come to my wedding and my bridal shower, and we meet up for food and whatever. Like,
speaking of Krista, she also influenced you to stop drinking alcohol.
She did.
Which is a big thing. So I don't drink alcohol really. So I'm always here to welcome more people to my party.
Yes,
I stopped drinking alcohol like 6 years ago. And I don't know why. It just like happened. And now I love my life without it. I had one glass of rosé the other day and like I was definitely like mildly intoxicated.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, oh God, I don't ever drink alcohol. But tell me about your journey with the whole alcohol sitch and kind of how it came up and how you started and how you're living your life now.
Well, I feel like ever since I started New Skin, it was all about like, I got into that mindset of taking care of yourself, and it started with skincare, and it's just grown into way, way, way more than just taking care of my face. It's my body, it's everything. And just for so long, like alcohol gives me such bad anxiety. Like I'll go out with Tom for pizza and one beer and I'll have anxiety from one beer, one drink.
What does that anxiety feel like?
I don't know. Like, I
Think
just
about
feel
it.
like I'm ready to like
Does your skin
crawl out of my skin. Yeah. And I'm not anxious about anything in particular. It just is like, I just get this like uncomfortable, like,
Gotta go.
Like, I just want to like go to bed. Like, it's just not fun for me. And I just feel
I know
like
that feeling.
the beginning of this year, watching Krista kind of go through that same feeling and watching how she started feeling so much better. And I've actually seen other people kind of start to implement that. And I started eating better and just taking care of myself in other ways that every time I drank, it just felt like I was taking 45 steps backwards in my like mental, spiritual, like soulful growth that I've been trying to do. And it literally just felt like pouring gasoline on a fire. I was like, why am I adding to any anxiety that I just don't have the time for when I don't need to?
Right.
I was not drinking because I enjoyed drinking by any means. It was always because I wanted something yummy, or it's just like a societal thing. Like, we're just having
It's
a social
what you
drink.
do. Right.
And now I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want a beer. No, thank you. I'm going to get a mocktail. People are like, are you pregnant? I'm like, no, I have a wedding in 5 fucking months. Like, I better not be goddamn pregnant. I have a dress to put on. Or they're like, is everything, like, I just feel like it's the assumption that there's like an issue. And I'm like, I just don't, like, can we normalize not asking people why they're declining a drink?
This happened to me. I was at work and we had a cocktail hour and there was a mocktail on the menu. And I ordered, hey, can I have this drink? The bartender goes, you know, there's no alcohol in it, right?
And I'm like, that's why I'm
can
ordering
you
the
not
mocktail.
say that out loud? Like this, I understand. I can read. I work here, but like, can you not say that? Because now everyone behind me just heard you say that, and not that I care, but I just don't want to answer any questions.
It's the questions. It's so bizarre how people have like the balls and the comfort to be like, well, why?
Right.
Why don't you want to drink? And I'm like, okay, so what, like, I don't have an alcohol problem, but if I did, what do you want me to say right now? Like, oh, because I'm an alcoholic. Does that make you feel more comfortable about me declining your drink? Or like somebody I don't really know that well, or we're all at a bar and you guys are all drunk and I'm drinking a root beer because I love root beer. Like, leave me alone. And they're like, well, why? And I'm like, because that beer will give me raging anxiety for the next 2 days. Like, is that what you want to chat about?
It's also a depressive. Like, it's that. Do I need any help? No. Like, it also makes me hungry. I also don't need any help there.
It's just literal jet fuel.
Right.
Gasoline that you're putting into your body. It's poison. And it's not like I'm walking around offering somebody meth and being like, well, why? Why don't you want it?
Right. And it's just so weird because
it's
it's
so
like
bizarre. Like, don't ask me questions.
So I love that you're sharing that on your stories. And I think that it's so good for people to see, and then you making different mocktails. And I think that that is really, really good to just help normalize the fact that you don't need to drink everywhere you go.
No, and you don't need to drink to have fun. Like, we went to breweries all weekend for our friend's birthday last weekend, and I had a blast drinking like a mango mocktail and a root beer. I'm like, I'm having so much fun, and I'm not hungover the next day, and I don't go to bed with anxiety. I'm like, it's so nice. But like, I feel like I put up a poll on Instagram asking, like, do you drink because you enjoy drinking, or do you drink because it's like the societal thing? Like, do you prefer a mocktail or a cocktail? The overwhelmingly amount of people that voted they prefer a mocktail, but I know when they go places, they get cocktails. And I'm like, why are you guys not ordering mocktails?
Because it feels embarrassing. There's shame around it.
It's so
And it's
crazy.
like, well, you're not 12. You don't need a Shirley Temple. Like, I just feel like there's just a lot of shame around it. So let's abolish the shame, people. If you see someone you're with and they order a non-alcoholic beverage, you just say, boy, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, like, who cares? I went out to dinner the other night with my cousin and my friend Lauren, and Lauren got like a spicy mango margarita, and I was like, that sounds amazing. Can I get that without tequila? The server was like, yeah. And I'm like, this is perfect. I'm having a spicy mango marg. Whenever I ordered drinks, it was because I wanted something yummy, not because I like really cared about
the
drinking.
alcohol. Right.
And now I'm like, wait, I can just order these yummy drinks without alcohol. It's the same shit. Like, what's the difference?
Right.
Without poisoning my insides and making my anxiety feel like I'm going to fly away. Like,
have you always had anxiety?
I think, yes. I don't think I realized it until I started having like raging anxiety in college, like to the point where I couldn't go to class. I had to get covers for work. I wouldn't go out to parties, and everybody just thought I was a flake. And I was like, I literally can't leave bed.
Right.
So
just a casual thing called like debilitating anxiety.
I lost a lot of friends during that. Well, party friends, because I like wasn't going out, and I was the lame friend. love being that. But I'm like, yeah, I'm in bed like literally shaking. So
Right.
I don't really know what to tell you. And I just don't think I ever realized I had anxiety because I was always like a pretty chill person until I started embracing that I'm not chill. Like I'm very not controlling,
Yeah.
but I am like, I do have a control problem. I'm very type A. And if you had asked me in college, I would never tell you I was type A. I'd be like, no, I'm chill, like I'm cool. But then like in the background, I had anxiety and I'm like, well, if I just like let this kind of flourish, maybe I'll feel a little better. And I do. I feel like now that I can just openly be type A, which I always could have been. I just don't think I fully understood it.
Or that is a big thing. You need to understand parts of you before you can step into them. And I think that that's a really important point. Like for me, there are so many things about myself that I could never step into because I didn't understand and I didn't know. Like I didn't know on the opposite end of the spectrum that I didn't need anxiety. I didn't know that that was an option. Okay.
Like you were just so used to that just being
my
your
life.
world. Yeah.
It controlled everything I did. And then when someone was like, you don't need it, I was like, what? Okay. But it's also like fashion. I don't understand fashion. I don't know fashion. I don't know how to dress myself. So it's like, okay, you need to learn. So what can you do? Like I literally went into our friend Marissa's boutique and I was like, okay, teach me how to accessorize because I physically don't understand it. And every 2 months I learned something new. So, 2 months ago it was how to layer. The next month it'll be accessories. The next month it'll be a purse. Like it's literally just taking the small steps, but always start with this first thing. And I don't care what anyone says. Find your signature scent. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, I
Find
literally
your perfume.
am almost 30 years old and I just did that like 3 weeks ago. Gucci Bloom. I got it from Sephora. It is the best scent I've ever smelled in my life.
I will never stray from Good Girl by Carolyn Herrera. Oh my God.
Ooh.
But here I am. I spray Good Girl on me and then I light an incense stick. And I'm like, I am Natruji. I'm a natural bougie bitch. I just like literally.
I love
but
that.
yeah, you have to understand yourself. But here's the thing. You have to be willing to look at it. Because if you're not willing to look, you're never going to discover. And what's inside of you isn't that scary.
No. It's actually like fun in there.
Right. You're making it scary by not looking.
Yeah. Yep. And now I just embrace being a controlling type A person and everybody just laughs and tells me to calm the F down. I'm like, okay, sounds good.
That's so amazing. So as we close out here, do you just want to chat a little bit about how is your wedding planning going? What are some tips you can give to anyone planning a wedding?
Hire a planner. I can't tell you.
Did you start with a planner though?
No.
Okay.
I tried to do it myself because I was like, oh my God, newly engaged. Can't wait to plan a wedding. This is going to be so fun. When you have a full-time job and you're going to school and you also want to like have a personal life, it is not fun. It's not fun. I like doing the big picture stuff. Like obviously I have a say on the colors and the flowers ish. I don't even know the names of 98% of flowers. Like I am not a floral person. I know like what a rose and a sunflower is.
I like dead flower. I mean, fake ones.
Yeah, like I just have no sense of that stuff. And just after a while, the little details, I was like, I can't. And I was like begging my mom for help. And she's also super busy and doesn't live here. So she's like, we need to hire somebody. It's going to be worth it. And we've actually saved some money in that because we got a deal on a DJ because she's worked with them a ton. And she had a minted discount code for invites, shower invites. And we've saved like hundreds with that. So I'm like, you know what? This has been so worth it because in the back end, she's doing all the details and just telling me what she needs from me and when she needs it by, and I just do it. So if there's any tip I can literally give anybody is I can't express enough how worth every penny it is. Like build your budget around a planner. And there are planners that are like she was really decently priced. Like I not interviewed, but like.
No, I was going to ask you, how did you find her?
I spoke to 3 different planners. One ended up being like $12,000 and I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, that's
if that's in your budget, great. Not in mine. And she ended up, and then one person was a lot cheaper, but she wasn't really giving me what I needed. Like in our conversation, the vibes weren't it. So like the middle pricing, and I just loved, I could have chatted with her on the phone all day long. And I just like vibed with her and I was like, this is perfect. Like you have to definitely talk to a few different people because you want to vibe with your planner. You want to make sure they get you.
Right.
So
that's an important
nice.
thing.
Yeah. So that is I know that might be useless for anybody who doesn't want to hire a planner, but I really can't recommend it enough.
It saves you time, saves you money, saves you stress. And then you get to show up to your wedding excited, not having to worry about everything.
Right. So like on the wedding day, I don't have to do anything. She does all the stuff and she brings people with her and I can just like literally get ready with my girls. And like, I don't have to send my mom and my girls like on a witch hunt to do things. Like we can all just like play.
When is your wedding?
October 15th.
Oh,
It is coming up in like 120 something days.
Wow. That's so
Yeah.
exciting.
It's coming up quick. I'm so excited.
What advice do you have for yourself on your wedding day? Because here's the thing. We always say we're going to play it cool. What do you have? Are you like framing it out? Have you already thought about it 97 times? Or
Yeah. I think I just want to tell myself to chill out. Like,
Yeah.
it's just going to be fine. I think that I've come to terms with like, it is 100% not going to go exactly the way we planned, but nobody else knows the plan except for you and your planner.
Right.
So it's not like it's really going to affect anybody. So I'm like, why? Like, as long as everybody has fun.
And they're
It's
also
really all
there
I
to
care about.
celebrate you.
I just
and
want everybody
your
to be
fiance.
fed and had fun. And like,
Right.
that's it.
Yeah. Please feed. Not eating is real bad.
Yeah,
When
we're
you-
doing a buffet because I want everybody, including myself and Tom, to be able to eat like as much food as possible.
No, I love that. Oh my gosh. It has been so amazing. I'm so happy we redid this episode because I think you've come so far in 6 months.
Yeah, I feel like
And-
it's such a different conversation this
And
time.
so much has happened. And I just think it's so amazing to watch you step into this next season of your life because you are entering a new season. And
Yeah.
it's so amazing to watch. And maybe we'll have to have you on again. But
Happy to.
I definitely think you should start a podcast. I definitely think you because let me tell you, when you're bored, it's the perfect activity.
you can just chat to like the wall.
That's
which
it.
is what I do with Instagram. I'm like, hey guys,
Yes.
I'm like bored, so let's hang out.
Hang out, right.
Listen to me chat about absolutely nothing. And people are like, I love this.
But people love it, right? And there's room for everyone. So jump on whatever bandwagon you feel. Podcasting is a great time, especially because here's the thing about podcasts and Instagram, though, that people don't really know. On Instagram, you can see who is consuming your shit. On podcasts, you have no idea.
Yeah, that's like scary.
And it's also interesting because sometimes I'm like, are these even helping anyone? I don't know. And then I get messages like, your podcast literally fundamentally changed my life. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know you listened.
Yeah.
I had
It's
someone
crazy.
on last week. Her episode actually went live today. She has like a huge following, and she messaged me and she's like, "I love your podcast." I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" She's like, "I'd love to be on it." I was like, oh, "Okay,
Sounds amazing.
You can be on it." And so that's the thing about podcasting that I think is so fun is that you can't control it all because you don't know who's listening. You just put it out there, and you have to like bless and release that it goes to the right people.
Yeah, see, I'm controlling, so not having control, that scares me.
Yeah, no,
I'm like, oh God, I'm sweating.
just thinking about
God.
not knowing. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being on. I know that people are going to find great insight in this convo. Thank you. If you want to find anything out about Nicole, all of it will be in the description below and in the show notes. So go ahead, take a look. Do you have anything you want to say before we bounce out?
I hope you guys don't hate me.
Oh my God. They don't hate you. They love you. Oh my gosh.
Just kidding.
They love you so much. They'll probably listen to your podcast or jump on your IG stories. I'm telling you though, buy Lumi. That's real.
That is real. That is like I literally don't care if you buy it from me, but like
No.
you need.
I mean, I
you
have a
need
link.
one.
Buy a Lumi. Buy if you listen, split it up, half and half. Listen, I don't
I don't
actively
care.
do it, but I'll take $50. So
I mean, if you buy from her, it still helps
that's
me.
right.
So it
That's
doesn't
right.
matter.
Look at that. Oh my God, it's a win-win.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay. Bye.